How is everyone on this wonderful, wonderful Saturday evening? That's right, I know what day it is because it is Dia do Hexatombe. For once in my life, I will know when streams are happening because it will be on a Saturday. I am excited. I'm very excited. Both to watch the episode and to talk to you guys. And also because today we have a special guest, which I did not put in. Wow. So much for being a prepared streamer. I did not put that in the, I didn't put it in the title. Pedro. Our one and only Pedro. Actually, there has been a second Pedro in chat at one point, but you know, our one and only mod Pedro is here. Don't bonk me. All right, maybe I deserve a few bonks actually. And he's gonna be joining. We're gonna be chatting. Hell yeah. Just like last time, I have some thoughts prepared, not as many. Unlike last time, much less. And it's more thought, like big inklings of theories more so than like actual theories that are fully formed and everything. Not that, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's the beginning of a stream. We're talking. I'm talking myself warm. Also, I forgot to say hi to the people in chat. Oi, Pedro. I'll see you in a little bit. Oi, Gianna. Oi, Bella. Oi, Aggie. Muito bem-vindo todo mundo. Yeah, and then so I'll be sharing some of that, and then Pedro will be sharing some of his thoughts, and we'll just be having a little conversation, and then you guys in chat can share your thoughts, and we'll also talk about that. It's very cool, very nifty. I don't know if he's here. Oi! Hey then. Hello! That's how I imagine that. But without further ado, because there's gonna be a tiny bit of setup, and now I see that the ads have stopped. Tiny bit of setup, trying to get Pedro set up so you can see and hear him. Thank you! Thank you! Definitely worth delaying a tiny bit for, right? Pedro, I'm gonna give you a call and we're gonna see if we can get you on the stream. You're already there. God, you're so prepared. I'm so proud of you. Hello. Hello. I'm gonna go into this.
Hello.
Okay. And then we're gonna switch
Hello,
to
everyone.
Ordem. Hey, look! We are all here.
Do you have my subtitles? Is everything
I
correct?
I do. The only thing I don't have is your face.
Okay, let me turn on my camera. I don't know if the camera will be good, but I just want to...
Yeah, so I'm gonna... Why is it so squick? Wait, okay. What do you mean was... It's squid. Are you talking about yourself? And you're squished. The emote. What emote? Wait, what?
Yeah,
what is squished?
The one Jonah sent. Jonah sent the squished emote. Yeah,
Wait,
I
Gianna,
can turn on my lights. Hang on,
that costs bits, right? Thank you? I think? I don't. Thank you for the bits! It doesn't appear in my activity feed. No, points? Points? Okay. Well, not thank you for the bits then. Thank you for using your points. Okay, so what I need... Okay, how do we do this? I need to be able to see chat and to see things. So if I have you here, then we could do... Can I just get this? Or do I have to bring up... Twitch, OBS, why don't you have so I can just like get a browser source or something like that? Why must I share? Gianna,
right?
thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. You didn't have to. Thank you. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying my very best because I need to have Pedro on screen. So that means I need...
I think this looks okay.
I think so too. I need window capture maybe? Discord? Okay. And then Discord, and it's gonna be... Actually, I'm gonna change it to... There we go. now
How's
I
everyone
don't
doing, chat?
hope I'm not leaking anything.
Hubra.
Does anybody have Hubra?
Você tem Hubra?
Please don't try to buy drugs on my Twitch stream. I'm pretty sure it's TOS. Okay.
It's fake drugs. I think that
It's fake. It is. Twitch. It's fake drugs. It's fake drugs. It's not real. It's in our fun little fantasy world. Okay.
Fictitious drugs are fine, I think.
Yes, there we are. Pedro, you are on screen. What the heck? Okay. Look. Repping Psikolera. Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, and now...
I'm real, chat.
Let this! 5 stream streak, hell yeah! Pedro's real, Pedro's here. He's on top of Pogly. Oh, hold on, I fix it. Don't worry, not anymore. Not anymore.
You're gonna bonk me, Jenna? Oh, Jenna, you're so screwed.
Oh, perfect. Okay. You can bonk now. You can. So.
Que pessoa bonita no chat.
Ah. Oh. Chat, bring out the candles. I don't know what that reference is. No! Alright, so. To begin with, as you can see here in my notes, Pedro, can you see the stream?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, here's notes from the episode. They're much less organized than what we were dealing with the first time. This is my notes for speaking. Very hurriedly put this together because I don't like last time I had a lot of like, here we go, blah 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 blah. This time we're vibing. All right, so first
Spoiler alert for Calamity apparently.
Oh yeah, so yeah. I don't. Is Avi here?
I don't know.
Alright. Spoiler for Calamity. Oh, actually, Gianna, can you put a little please don't spoil the 2 spin-offs I haven't watched. Can you write something like that and pin it just in case somebody comes by who doesn't who doesn't know. Also, before you do that, real quick, I'm going to give you another thing to add. Please also add this link to the pinned comment.
What if I just hold it here for
well,
the rest of the stream?
Wait, no, it's cut out. Yeah,
side.
there we go. I think you should do that.
Yeah, I'm
or
gonna
Bella.
say like this the entire stream.
Bella or Gianna, because Pedro is on different mod duty today. He's on stream duty. Yes. Actually, I said I was gonna go through this first, but I feel like, does it make more sense if we like just say just like our vibes over the episode first? Not like theories, but just like what do you think? Did you enjoy it? Let's do that first.
It was really, really fun. I'm really liking Hexatombe. The second episode was even better than the first one. There was a lot of comments about it, like not being fully like an RPG. Like people saying,
"Oh my god!"
Mostly, yeah. There was a lot of talk about that on Twitter. If anyone saw that, I think it's fine. It was a little railroady, but it's not. It's fine. Like Ordem has had that for a few like seasons now, like with Quarentena and Natal Macabro, and I think this was like the way the new writers also approach writing for the season. So we have to get a little bit accustomed to that difference of style from Selbit writing everything all the time.
Yeah. Also,
but I also think it's gonna open up more this episode.
I will also say that anytime you have a streamed TTRPG, it's gonna be a little bit different than the type of RPG that you play at home at your table. There's gonna be more structure, there's gonna be more production, and there's gonna be a little bit more railroading. And also, good things, there's gonna be more acting. In most cases, compared to at home tables, there's gonna be more acting and little like chit-chat between characters and stuff like that, in a different way than you would, because it is entertainment. And I'm gonna be so real, if you streamed the majority of like at-home RPG tables, it would not be entertaining to watch. So I fully am here for them doing what they need to set up the story. There are clearly still RPG mechanics at play, and also it's the second episode. Like, there's gonna be at least 6 more.
Ooh, I wanted to ask you, how many episodes do you think the season's gonna run for?
Well, at least 6 more, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's gonna end up being 10. I would say if they do tables, different groups, I would rather they only do that if they have more episodes than there are days, I think. Because right now it seems like we're gonna be introduced to a new cult and sacrifice for each day that somebody needs to be sacrificed, whether it's from the point of view of the people we've been following, or if it's going to be from the point of view of a different group. And if it's from the point of view from a different group, I don't think we're going to have enough time to get attached to them emotionally if they only get 1 episode each. So
can we start going a little bit into theories?
Yes, we can.
About the whole sacrifice thing and the ritual. Because they bring in what's his name? Georgie? I forgot what his name is. Giovanni.
Giovanni. Yes.
Is Giovanni? He and his team bring Cleo to the ritual. There's no other reason for them to bring Cleo than for Cleo to be their sacrifice. Not only is Giovanni trying to do a handshake, like, we're not going to attack each other, and they probably did that with every single other group they know of, which is 4 others, so they only have 1 target on their back, and that group has to do with everyone other groups, so they're the best off of the whole thing. But they specifically are really scared of the killer groups of our group, and so they got Cleo to be the sacrifice, because how are you going to kill Cleo, you know?
That is interesting. So what I've just pulled up now is, because the theory is that the people that we have here that we got shown earlier
are the
sacrifices. I don't see any shadows that look like Cleo. Obviously, she can change her hair when she's there. We've gone through weird ass it is the posters and stream. We've gone through weird ass butthole mouth. I'm so sorry. Like, that's what it looks like to me. Come on, look at. And now we're in a different place. So, you know, the looks could have changed.
Otherwise, what other reason is there for Cleo to be there? You know,
I don't know. I will also say we've heard of 4 people from Giovanni's group. And then Cleo. So at no point we're missing at least 1 member. If Cleo is a member,
because it was
that we're missing one.
The guy with
Kahatha.
It was the guy with the Kahata. It was Kahata, and then Kahata died.
Yeah, it was this guy. I'm still sus of this policewoman. It would not surprise me if she shows up as part of their group because of like design similarities. But
that's the policewoman from
Isabella. Yeah. This guy was also in Elisa, so.
I don't see that, but maybe you see something. You're playing 5G chess, and I don't see that.
It's literally just because when I saw the design, I thought that first of all, her outfit for a policewoman is weird. And then you have like the lots and lots of jewelry here that is reminiscent of what this guy had going on. So I thought that maybe she was like undercover cop and part of this his group. And now that we found out that his group is with Giovanni, I was like, all right, well maybe she shows up.
She was like very antagonistic towards Cleo too.
Yes. And like weirdly okay with letting Dalmo go take this other guy that has just been put in prison away, even though Cleo wasn't allowed to go in and see him. as if that was a dangerous thing. Because like, but you let him take him out into the world.
Yeah.
Hexatombe, welcome, welcome. Well, let's follow that thought a little bit with where it's weird that the full groups jumped in, but we're missing at least one maybe two people from his, because he did say that they were going to be taken to the sacrifices. So why would they bring Cleo as their sacrifice? But also
So
we only
they like kidnapped Cleo to be part of their group, but like why?
well, they probably have to hunt down the other groups as well. Either way, because they said that only the people who survive to the end get to go. So I'm assuming all the occultists die.
Here's the thing: I don't think I understand maybe the whole plot of how Hexatombe works. In my head, it's a little like the catch the flag, whatever it's called, the game where like you have to defend your flag and catch the other team's flag. To me, it's how it works. You have to defend your sacrifice from every other team, and every other team is trying to hunt every other sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's how I understood the rules work.
As chat is saying here as well, that Kahara was missing, so they were missing one person, so they like grabbed her last minute.
Yeah, but like an involuntary team member, isn't that worse than having foreign team members? Like that's what my thought process is at.
So there's the question is, one, are you allowed to participate if you don't have 5? And even so, only 4 of them jumped in. Who's the 5th? So technically, like I said, we've seen the guy with the hole through his Tahafa or Tahara. Tahafa. That's why I'm Tahafa and Kahara. Yes. So we've seen Tahafa, we've seen Giovanni, and we've seen big dude.
That's true. Maybe what's the bar girl's name?
Dunny.
Dunny. Maybe Dunny.
Oi, 7. Wesley Nato didn't arrive at the club at the right time, so they take Leo.
True.
It could be Nani. She wasn't there, so we didn't see her jump in. She doesn't visually fit their group, but I don't know if that matters, because they all had the... Yeah,
she traveled with the band and not with Giovanni, right? At least that's what she said.
And all of those had the golden, not changed, golden pick wire.
Yeah.
Pig is because of the Danish barb. Yeah, in Danish it's pigtråd, which is pig wire. Yeah.
Barbed wire. It's really funny that they've been in the rule book for like 3 years at this point, 2 years, and no one knew. Which is
interesting because everyone was betting on Hasiel being the spoiler in the rule book that we were told existed, that he was going to appear, which still might happen.
The original rule book.
This is the original rule book.
This is the original rule book. Someone specifically said something from Surviving the Fear, Supervillain is coming in this the spin-off. So there's still something else that's going to be at play here. That we don't know of.
But wait, what was I thinking? Yeah, so with Cleo, if she's joined in, I think it could be the thing we were saying with like, oh, it's emotional guilt thing, but she's going to be part of the group. Oh, you're asking about the rules, right? So from what I understood, it's that where it's like each team has a thing that they're protecting and also trying to kill. But because he specifically said only 6 people go to the end of Hexatombe and the last sacrifice, it feels like they're gonna be not only hunting but also killing all of them, even though that's
because like if for example if Giovanni's team were to fight our team, they would kill each other. A few people would probably die, but they would go. I think if you kill one team's sacrifice, the whole team dies automatically.
So that would be still help with what you were saying with how can they go against Cleo, even if she's there as a team member.
Yeah. That would be true. That would be true.
Yeah.
True.
So going from this, which is these are the notes I'll be speaking from tonight.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about the ritual, I was trying to think of what on earth Hexatombe is gonna be, because it seems like something that has happened previously in history, so it can't be like earth-shattering, destroying.
We don't know.
And true, Earth could have been destroyed a couple times. Who knows? It's Ordem. And from we have these like the first song of Psikolera, which by the way I think is really cool. It seems like the lyrics or the songs from Psikolera are kind of like a soundtrack to the events of what's happening in the season. So this one, Brutal, is kind of foreshadowing what the ritual is. Like there's something new is coming, my moment is here. But they're talking about eternal prestige, taking all you can have, and like thorns the crown, flying above, rising above your station, that type of thing. So I was wondering if maybe it could be a way of forcing a Diabo reset, because we know that the wielder of the Sengi relic has to be chosen through like who is worthy. So this could be like a game set up to be like, we're gonna find the worthy ones. And also we were told that not everyone would be allowed to go through this portal. You would have to already prove that you're worthy enough to even participate. So that's why I'm like, oh, could this be playing into the whole, like, it's literally Hunger Games to figure out who's going to be the next. Giovanni said that those who will witness the crown of thorns. I've seen other people say that maybe that could be the physical relic. Obviously, this means that Henri is kind of, and he is in a weird spot, and I don't really know what to do about that, other than if maybe he appears and has to defend his claim as part of, it's like he's had to put together a group to defend him and defend his claim. Maybe, I don't know.
Keep going.
Yeah, so those who will have their wish fulfilled. It could also just be like a classic, like, oh, this is a fun game Diabo has made to find out, like, to have people ask for a pact, ask for a wish, so to speak. Yeah. And he's just like, let's just make a little fun. Oh, there is a tiny Ghostbuster, and that's a little Pac-Man.
Yeah. It's
nice.
Cute.
Good. Well, only the bad ghosts. We like the good ghosts here. But it could also be I'm gonna find the worthy successor, or my wielder, Bearer, is gonna have to prove that they are worthy to keep the power I've bestowed upon them. Yeah.
Talking on that, I think that's probably what it is about. I think it's like a Dragon Ball situation where, like, you gather all the 7 Dragon Balls, you get to make a wish, which could be anything. So it could be destroy the world. I think this ritual has happened many times, and every time it has happened, one group has decided to have a wish, and they decided something, and that thing has happened, and none of them decided for a wish for the end of the world. I think we're gonna have a cult here. I think the cult of the can I do the hand really quick?
Yeah.
The blood hand. I think they are gonna be looking to bring out the Aniquilação, which is the big blood monster from the Blue Book, which is yeah, exactly. I think they want to kill the world. They want to bring out the end of the world.
Okay. See, as you can see, I also had Kian Pact. This is just, you're doing that very well.
I trained.
This is basically from the visual, there's some visual thematics that are appearing. Now, obviously, the thematics of the golden chains are also just a conocimiento thing, so it doesn't have to be linked. I'm just mentioning it as something that's like popped into my mind in case it turns into something, because when I first saw this coffin, I thought of the last time we saw Kian, which was wrapped up in these chains and a box wrapped up in chains. And also, we saw Diabo appear offering a pact. And then,
speaking of the Diabo, that symbol on the Transtornados is the pact of the Diabo, of the devil.
Yes.
They've been offered a pact already.
That's what I was thinking as well. And then I think Gianna said that it could also be like they were trying to get one, so like
no,
already
the rulebook
they have to
explicitly says they have had they formed a contract with the devil. Yeah, the rulebook explicitly says this group of people are a group of people that have done a deal with the devil, and then they got like obsessed with the blood and killing and torturing and
this
that
is
kind of stuff.
awesome. By the way, chat, I see some of you putting your thoughts in here. Please do. I will look over periodically and will be like, okay, I'll read through, just so that it doesn't get too scrambled. So I will absolutely see what you're saying, and we'll talk about it too. But I'm
Jesus was asked about. Jesus is already canon. The characters asked after Jesus, so Jesus is already canon in that sense.
I really, really love that you said that, because what I was gonna tie that with as well is the whole thing of Giovanni, obviously a throwback to Iniciação. We know him as the guy who made the Sangue bunker underneath the school, which was then used by Alvarez in part of Desconjuração to do the whole ritual bringing Kian about. So we already have some potential link between Giovanni and the people he working with, having collaborated with at least Scriptas, and working with Kian. So I was wondering if there was somehow a link between the pact that Kian made with Diabo, which I'm thinking off the top of my head would be something like becoming like the one true relic entity thing of conocimiento, because right now we kind of, as far as I've understood, we have two things. We have as máscaras and like the conocimiento entity, and then we have Kian, which is also kind of, because he has all of the knowledge of the other side and is threatening and overruling the rules that conocimiento as máscaras a magistrada is setting up. And Anfitrião, when they were having that whole discussion in Calamity, was afraid of what would happen if he managed to stay with power and kind of could rewrite things, and in general wanted conocimiento to no longer be in controls of the chains. As far, just like brief. And if Diabo...
I just want to say that Jenna has corrected me. The rulebook does not fully state that they have had it back to the devil. It says a lot of them have had one, but some of them are still looking to have one.
Okay, cool. It still fits. So I was wondering if the Diabo Pact was to be, I'm gonna help put you in a stronger position that you want, and then in Sangue Diabo's mind being like, I'm gonna find a way to twist this pact in a way where actually I gain the control and I take out two enemies at one way, basically just annihilating both. Exactly the ideas of how that would happen, well, I don't know, and then also because Henri, of course, used to be Scripta working with Kian, seemed to go his own way, found Diabo, became the bearer, but then came back to the pact. And I've had the idea that Kian wanted people, his Scriptas, put in charge of the different relics for a while. We saw that, he did have a with what's her name, the one with the Morchi, with the not with the fan, Morchi.
Maybe?
Nubi, yes. Where it was mentioned that Nubi and her Lucidius. So she kind of, was Iscripta, but also Morche, and had at least some form of Lucidio occultists listening to her, was a leader of that. So it could be that Henri was still kind of part of whatever big Calamidade plan that was, or Giovanni could be the one that would take that spot of like, oh, we have Giovanni on our side and his Transtornados. So we have one in each area. Because also, one of what I was saying before with the songs, Hisada Hobachiko, feels like we're definitely gonna meet somebody who's very Energia themed. I don't know if Fitreo visit, because he was buddy with Diabo, or if it's just gonna be like a cult that has that theme. But I might also be tying it too much to a main season.
Yeah, I think it's more just because like at this point we don't even know if they're gonna release the rest of the Psikolera songs. I wish they did.
I hope so.
Because I hope so, but they might not. It might have been just that one song for the stunt publicity thing, which
and
would be fun.
The last one was a different one, which was called Portal.
Yeah, true.
So there's two.
I think what's more probable is that they're not full. They might release them as songs later, but they don't have the songs now, and those songs are actually the name of attacks. And that one of the characters of the band is energy coded or works with like an energy theme of some kind, like a ritual, and then that attack is called that song name.
Oh, that's very fun. I like the idea of that too, because I
think Dragões Metálicos kind of work like that, right?
I don't know, but that would be very fun if it was. I don't remember.
So I have a speculative question to ask you, because I think it's just a question about today's episode that we will just have to see to know if it happens or not. But everything we've learned about Hexatombe so far is very blood-coded, because blood is the main element. But there's a secondary element, which is knowledge. Mm-hmm. How is knowledge playing a part in Hexatombe? Are we gonna have like a lot of documents? There could like be a puzzle to figure out somehow. Like that's what I'm thinking. What is the knowledge related thing to Hexatombe?
Oi, Nifty! Good to see you again. I don't know. So far, are we sure that it has to be knowledge with the ritual?
I don't want to get too much into the specificities of why I know it's blood knowledge, but it is blood knowledge because it has to do with the other spin-offs.
Okay. Yes.
It also to do with the bell. How much do you know about the bell? Can I talk about the bell?
So what I know about the bell is that it has something to do with Tenebris, and everyone's very confused. That's it. I don't know how it appears, how we know it exists, and I would rather not know that.
We also don't. That's what I'll tell you. We also don't know how it works, but it's very interesting that one of the bells of Tenebris is here and doing things, and like, what does this have to do with Tenebris? This is a very open question that we don't know how it works.
I will say, like, season-wise with Conocimiento, there's the whole thing about memories and some kind of like memory swap, which is that. And it's also why I think it's interesting that with these barbed wire things in gold that visually are reminiscent of chains, but in a more threatening attack pain way.
Yeah.
And it's
there's
clearly
the whole masks thing, right? Everyone has masks all the time, which is, the cult of the masks.
Which also seems to, at least, there's a cult of the masks, and it also seems to have like some kind of entity's memories tied to it, or intentions at least, which kind of feels like that too.
Okay, we can talk about this later. I have thoughts.
I know. Let me just quickly, I'll just read through what was said so it doesn't get too far back. Bella said maybe they realized that she was following, this is about Cleo. Maybe they realized that she was following Aguiar and she could know more than she should, so Giovanni's team recruited her instead of killing her to fit the spot that was missing. I like that too, and I think the fact
It
that
could be part of it.
she is there means if Giovanni doesn't know already that it's not the original killers, or at least the killers in their original state, they will. Because I think Cleo is pretty certain that something's up, and she's gonna probably spill at least the weird thing she's seen, and they'll put it together, which could put them at more risk. I don't know. I think if your sacrifice dies, you can steal other team sacrifices, is Lotta's prediction for how it works. Aiden said, I just thought of something. Oh, is Jesus going to be canon, as in the crown that was used on him that cost something?
And then I answered saying yes, because characters have already questioned about Jesus, so Jesus is technically canon.
Yeah, but I guess it's, will the historical figure of Jesus be canon?
Yeah, well, people ask like, "Oh, the crown of Jesus, the crown of thorns," and then Kimmy asked like Jesus. So Jesus, the historical figure, is technically canon.
True.
Like the Bible is canon at that point.
Yeah, but there's like Bible canon, and then there was a real man named Jesus who lived around that time.
Like, I think we're gonna get into something around those lines at some point in this season.
Like gave him a wish, maybe his resurrection. I don't remember Bible lore. So Aiden, you're asking if the Ordem is gonna co-opt what happened in the Bible and link it to an entity called Diabo, and say that it was the devil that resurrected Jesus using a cursed paranormal object known as the Crown of Thorns. Because that would be so badass, and I highly doubt it. I mean, obviously, I am by no means a specialist on what the views on Catholicism and messing around with the Bible like that in Brazil is. But just from what I
did give a warning that it was gonna be like I'm expecting something of that level. Truth be told, I think something along those lines might happen.
I would love it if he's not afraid to. I think it would be awesome.
What Jenna just said, 100%.
Let me scroll down, and it would make sense why they can't get a sponsor. True. I honestly would be so here for it.
Yeah.
Did you watch Kemi and the Alpha scene? This Jesus thing would be the least. No, I know. It's just like, I know that there are certain kinds of Christians who get real. I mean, I've been told that people have already tried to like cancel Ordem for being satanic. This would take it to like another level of potential mainstream upset. And I'm like, is he gonna stay on the safe side of that? Like in our world, is that potentially gonna put too much public problems with Ordem? Let me and then I don't know, the way Verissimo talked about Diabo is like Catholicism doesn't exist. So like I think their its own mythology, and the religions are just one among many cultures that spawned the original lore and the mythology of the RPG. If Ordem backed out from tarot, I would think it backed out from Christianity, and that's what has kept going in my mind, that if that became an issue, I think trying to co-opt Christian things and turn it into the occult and stuff could be an issue. But like I said, I don't actually know if there's motion in Brazil to shout about something like that. I want Jesus to be there and the past devil just for it to appear in record. And actually going... Oh! Sarah Ugemi Plays. Welcome, first time chatter. O real problema do aquecimento global. The real problem is the global feeling? Wait.
Global warming. There was the one Selbit stream where he got really drunk, and then he said like the real problem with global warming, and then he passed out and never finished it. And then he explained it later. Is that the real problem of the global warming is that too many people believe in God, is what he said.
Yes. Fun fact, my dad has like said a similar thing. So the first time, so when I saw that clip for the first time, I was like, I'm pretty sure I know which way he was going. It was a slightly different way, but it was like a similar theme. But yeah, maybe he's gonna bring that in. We saw the way it looked at the end, like scorched earth. I know it's probably gonna be the Kachinga thing. Kachinga,
Yeah.
Kachinga. But it could be fun if it was like, oh, we're gonna be taken to a different dimension and now the earth is ending. The problem is too many people believe in God, more people need to believe in Diabo. But yeah, going off the if it's something he's gonna touch, I have another thing, and this one is vague. It is barely a link. It was just a fun thought that I thought it was fun to then chase. I asked you earlier about Tupi, Pedro.
Yeah.
Purely because I watched Selbit's fishing video with Murillo, and he randomly mentioned a name of a fish was like the name for the word fish in Tupi, and I was like, oh, it's right before Hexatombe, and now Selbit is giving like fun facts about something that can be like a different kind of language and stuff like that. I wonder if it's because he's recently gone down a rabbit hole around something from them.
It's possible.
And then when it turned out that Katinga is also a Tupi word.
A lot of her vocabulary is.
Yeah, that's what I found out. So like that's what I mean. This is so vague. But it was just I was looking into it and looking at like there are some places in Nordeste that would fit with places that have been inhabited. So over here I could not tell you what these places are.
Okay.
Help?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Just
what are the states?
All those states. There's so many.
No.
There.
These ones. Right out here. Can you see?
Okay, I'm really bad at geography as well. I'm not gonna embarrass myself. I'm gonna pull up a map.
Okay. Gianna, can we move the sound of things falling? It's still going.
Okay, looking at a map, we have. Oh, this is so small. Why? Okay, why can I not find the map? Hello? Okay, that's Rio Grande do Norte, Paraíba, Pernambuco, Alagoas, Sergipe, and the northeast coast of Bahia.
Okay, see,
a little bit of Ceará as well.
Does Bahia have this the Caatinga area? Do you know that?
Look, Caatinga.
Because I think. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's already there. Yes, it does. That's why I had this. So, looking into it, obviously, I'm not gonna claim this is. Disclaimer, this is from a late night, very quick search on Wikipedia. I'm not gonna try and say stuff about native Brazil culture. I don't know shit. This is just like a fun little rabbit hole I followed down. And what was it here? Yeah, so during colonialism, the Catholic priests were trying to find a way of like introducing Christianity to these people, and chose, as it says here, Tupi to kind of be linked to Christian God, and Jurupari.
Where is it?
Jurupari with the devil. And again, quick search of what like things are about Jurupari. There was saying like a dual thing of lawgiver, which feels a little bit like Conhecimento with the chains of reality, and then a demon of dreams, which was more with pain and fear. So I was like, oh, that's could kind of work with the duality of the elements of the season here. It's very vague.
Yeah.
But if something starts happening with sacred flutes, just keep that in mind, because that's apparently a link to this god. There was also accounts. There was accounts of cannibalism amongst Tupi people, which seems to be, in our point, like the modern view of being a way of honoring people, either prisoners who fought valiantly, or like your people who your warriors who had fallen.
From what I know, I'm not gonna speak that like I know I'm like a big Tupi historian or anything, or like nowhere of their culture. From what I know, what I've heard in history classes is that they would like fight wars and battles with other indigenous people, and then any prisoners of war they would then like kill and eat as a way of like saying like either we will get stronger as well, or saying like we respect you for it like it was like a mixture of both things.
Yes, it mentions here as well that it was to absorb and digest. Part of it was to absorb and digest the warrior's strength, and they only chose to sacrifice warriors perceived to be strong and brave because they didn't want to absorb the weakness, which
and I've heard it was consensual by the part of the warrior, which might be fake.
Yes. Which also, because I have written here, sacrifices are willing. I've had the vibe that based on the talks that had been in like the song and the intro text and stuff, the whole thing about honor and things, that it wouldn't surprise me if the sacrifices that are going to be sacrificed have chosen to be sacrificed, that it's seen as like an honor to be part of this ritual for whatever it is they're trying to do. Which
maybe
I could easily, like, obviously we haven't seen anything about cannibalism, but I just thought it was an interesting little tidbit because you could quite easily see something like that happening in a season with Sangi. So that was, this whole was more mentioned as like a, maybe could be part of it, going down the rabbit hole. And then over here, purely for funsies, in the section of like notable Tupi people, there was Catarina Alvarez Paraguasu, who was the first Brazilian Christian family, and her sons was named Gaspar, Gabriel, and Jorge, which I just thought was absolute. There's no link. Like I'm not saying there's a link. I just sometimes when I do this kind of research of following down rabbit holes, you find unintentional fun links of Alvarez, Gaspar, Gabriel, and Jorge all being mentioned in like the same page, and this is just like a fun example of that. But yeah, first Brazilian Christian family. She was baptized in France, and then ended up, when she died, she had like a chapel resurrected in Salvador, which is in Bahia, I found out, that she gave all the money to and stuff. And it's like, maybe Bahia is a point of where it's gonna go, because we have like potential things.
Oh, it's probably Bahia.
Yeah.
I guess
this was more like an example of just like fun rabbit hole thing, but look out for if there's any references that could potentially be tied to Tupi. It would be fun if there was.
Yeah, nice job. That was interesting.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I had. Like I said, today it's not as much. And then recently looking at this whole thumbnail, actually I have one more thought with the whole like sacrifices are willing. There's a pretty big difference in design of the people we have here. We have the guy in the middle who's all like hooded and dark and covered up. And then we have these people down back here who seems to be almost worshippers, but in a very Grecian, ancient Greek, ancient Rome style, which also kind of fits with the design here. Some people showed some architecture that had like a similar design. And of course, Hexatombe, being a large public sacrifice of 100 cattle in ancient Greece and Rome. And we down here, we have an ox. I was wondering if maybe the difference in how they look is because this guy is actually the sacrifice and not the cult leader. And then these people back here are part of the people who's going to protect him.
I think that image is not from the Hexatombe. I think that image is from outside, context-wise. Because those, that looks like a mural, like maybe even a prophetic mural of some kind. Remember how I said I think this cult might want like the end of the world? Like everyone there is worshipping blood and everyone has lost their eyes. I think that's the world they want. So I think the rose and the bull on that the little symbols on the side, if you haven't noticed, it's a rose and a bull. I've seen on Twitter that it might be referencing a cult from the official and canon story to Ordem, which is Os Espinhos da Escarlate, or the Thorns of the Scarlet Rose, which has a cult in its story, which is like just barely mentioned in the text, which might be this cult.
I'm so glad you pointed out the rose and that Lattice immediately said it's a lion now. Because I genuinely cannot for the life of me see what this is meant to be. I can accept some kind of flower, but it doesn't have the shape of what a classic iconography for a rose would be, as clearly
I see it as a rose.
As because the bull, the ox, the minotaur is very it's got very clean lines, and then. Over here, it's a little muddier for me. I also cannot for the life of me make out a lion. So I'm leaning more rose, but if you had it's only because I was told. If you had asked me,
I kind of see the lion as well.
I would have been like, oh, it looks like some kind of field flower, the kind that people sometimes call a weed.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Eduardo. I can't tell the Can somebody draw out lion on top of this?
I kind of saw the lion, but it's a little hard to see because you have to like cover up the stalk with your hand, like the stalk, and then you kind of see there's like a little dot where the eye might be.
Okay.
And there's a little tail, like it could be like a panda as well. If you think of it from that sense.
Okay. I would never look at it and see lion in that way. Again, I would compare to how clean this is. I would expect a cleaner outline for a lion. But now I see it now, thank you.
Yeah, but I think this is I think this might be like a mural of some kind, maybe on their church, maybe like bringing back a little bit of Enigma of Fear, like the mural on the cathedral, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I was also thinking of whether or not he could be our sacrifice. Oi, Discos! Hola, Discos! Welcome! Oh my god,
welcome.
lots of faces that I haven't seen in a while. It's so cool. Welcome back.
Can I talk about Enigma of Fear? Because I don't want to spoil anyone, but I do want to. I have a tangent about Enigma of Fear that is very related to Hexatombe.
Izzy. Is Izzy in chat?
Is Izzy in chat?
Hey, that's awesome. I hope whatever has been keeping you busy has been good. I'll just finish this thought and then read through what people were saying. But
okay.
If this one here is going to be our sacrifice, we've got the hood, some little jagged edges, which could maybe line up with this character design. But I also what you said about it being a mural and prophetic could also make sense. And a lot of people have said that, it should be from a different cult, and that each of the like promo things were suggesting different cults. I mean, I've already spoken about what I think this one was, which wasn't cult to me. It was more like something about the coffins. If this is going to be a cult, I think it's going to be the Giovanni one, because we have the birds here, and also because it talks about finding information and looking through history to understand this event, which is what he spoke about kind of having done. I
don't feel like that at all. That feels more old-timey to me. That feels like a different group.
Interesting. Well, I've seen people say that as well. So, but I am also not against it not being like each of these. Wait, let me start over. I'm also not certain that I believe that each of these pictures references a different cult necessarily. More so than just like vibes around what's happening in the season. Nifty said, to me, it's a rose and angel wings, a Red Seraphim vermelho of the Dama das Flores. Do we have any more information of that? Does anybody know more about it?
I read the story back in like 2 years ago, but I don't remember. From what I remember, they didn't mention a whole lot about the cult. It was mentioned more in like this is the cult that's responsible for this happening, but it's like a bigger deal, and it's like, oh, your agent's just dealing with this problem. Okay.
Yeah, Nifty also mentioned that the espinhos da Aurora Escalade, and that the hood is strangely similar to the cult hood from that mission.
Yeah.
And then Aiden said, which is something I've also seen people say, I also thought just instinctively that the hooded figure we saw at the end of episode 2 moved in a similar way animation-wise as Jeremias. That's why I said in the Discord that I first thought it was Jeremias. I think animation-wise, their idol animations are kind of the same for all of them. They have like a couple of different variations, but I think they're roughly the same. But I've seen people think that it was Jeremiah as well. I don't know if I fully support that, but it could be fun. Nifty, maybe we've already got an answer to how blood and knowledge mix. The bell sound was described as many voices screaming in agony. The whispers of despair could be infected with feelings of agony from blood. That's how it will manifest this season.
I read that and I wanted to respond to it because I think that's true. That's a section of how like the big picture is working, but I wanted to ask specifically about the ritual of Hexatombe because I think it is both blood and knowledge, and we don't know how it relates to knowledge yet. We just see the blood, and my mind immediately goes to the only image we have that has like a broken down shack, and I'm thinking, is there are there any documents in that shack? Are there any documents that in general around this area? Do we find out a story? Do we find out a puzzle? Is there a knowledge thing to solve?
Yeah. I think I saw people linking that shack to the place we first saw this, which I can add in real quick. But yeah, it would be fun if there was a ritual thing to it. Because, yeah, you're right. Like, there's the... If the ritual itself or the event itself needs to have knowledge involved, we don't quite have that yet.
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by the design of these people and if there's gonna be like Greek references, because I love that shit. Where we have so many champions.
The cultists?
Yes, the cultists. And what that little thing they're fling around.
The European references is gonna be the team centered around the armor, the haunted armor. From Europe. Yes. Because that's what it says in that journal. I think that's the European group. I think the cultists are something else.
It's gonna be Spanish. Whilst maybe. I'm looking for... Well, because the thing was found in Malaga. That's why I was saying. Oh, we got ad! Okay, that's perfect, because I'm bringing up this photo. And
I'm gone. Well, you screwed up my camera.
Are you back? Back. Yeah, it's because I'm literally just screenshotting my Discord. So fun. let's hope. I think I was on the only on the channels that are on the Discord, so it's fine.
Okay, so I want to read what Nifty said. So Nifty said
Yes.
that the cult was there was a lady called Dama das Flores, or the damsel of the flowers, that met a being called Seraphim Vermelho, or Red Seraphim. I think she made a deal. So she became a saint and came from Europe to Brazil, and that there's 7 sacrifices made in her honor because she loves flowers or whatever. Yeah, so it's a European cult as well. And she became a saint. I'm really also expecting we might see creatures in the Hexatombe besides just them fighting each other. And of course, blood zombies. But what about like the angel? You know, that's
especially with the Seraphim down here, like that would be it would be the season to do it. I would love that so much. Because the whole
said that he doesn't really believe it was Jeremias. He just it was just their first reaction.
Yeah, and that the animation is actually a little bit different. A Nifty Stefano, one of the writers of the order, compared Hexatombe to Ordem da Discursão, saying it's the most complex ritual before that. So it involves multiple steps, probably a lot of false fail-safes and knowledge conditions and prophecies.
Yeah, true. Probably true, yeah.
Makes sense with what we were told in Natal Macabro as well, that Alice Lucina was saying that like she was doing this in preparation for something greater.
There was a really interesting detail that I just want to mention about this that I saw on Twitter that people found when we were watching Natal Macabro, that in one of the rooms that the survivors are exploring, they find a toy labyrinth, a child's toy labyrinth.
So
implying that Labirinto might be like Lucina's kid that like she never gave a name to and just grew up to be the killer. Yeah.
Gianna, muito obrigado pelo inscrição de presente. Thank you, Aiden, for writing that out in Portuguese for me. Thanks, Gianna, for the gift sub to Aiden. Yeah, if anyone is like missing stuff, let me know and we'll just chill for a second. Yeah, because there was the whole thing about wanting a child. The question is, which hasn't really come up yet, of her like trying to adopt a child and then being denied. If Labirinto being so weird could be because he was brought into her life through some paranormal means, maybe.
Labirinto is really weird.
Yeah.
I do have the whole tangent on Enigma, but it's not going to be that big if you want me to go over it at some point.
Yes. I was just thinking, I don't know, did you see... putting you in the spot. Did you see the video I posted about my fear about something being not correct about the way Agatha described the ritual and the whole memory thing to the people?
Yes. I think I saw yours and I saw someone else. It might anyone in the middle tangent was going to go into this because I saw someone also pointing out that Agatha might be lying and that the killers are the killers. They just don't remember that they're the killers and they're not Ordem agents.
That's basically what I was saying.
True.
Yeah, because I would love to hear your take on that.
And that person also said that they think Agatha's intent with putting them in the ritual is that she wants to wish and she wants to cure the fear attack, the fear, the blade of fear damage, with the ritual. But that makes just partial sense because they are also looking for the crown of thorns and for the bell. So there's 3 things that are possible to get out of this, and the Ordem wants all 3 of them. I don't think they get all 3 of them, so we don't know exactly how this is going to work out, I think.
Yeah. I'm just, the link I just posted is my video specifically about the thing with Agatha, where I'm like, I don't think she's telling the truth either, because there's just things that don't make sense about what we saw with the monster in the coffin and logic leaps. And then just for discos, This other one is the stream from last week, where I went through some theories. Some could still hold, some could not, but also if you wanted to catch up on some stuff that's been happened. But I'm glad you're getting hyped. Also, for anybody who may be watching alone and want to chat with people as they watch, in the Discord, we do have like a little React channel little thing where whilst watching we'll like be doing like a big group chat. It's not that big, usually there's like 4 of us, but it's kind of fun to like as you go along, and if anybody wants to join, sometimes people come in afterwards when they've kind of taken in the episode and talk about how they're thinking and stuff. So it's a place to be if you want.
Yeah. Nifty said there were 28 labyrinths, and in that house there were many labyrinths drawn and a big antenna. So Labirinto probably lived in that shack and managed the radio and antenna, being a sort of technician. Also, in episode 2 of Natal Macabro, Domo says, "I told you to fix this tire, Baldy," implying again Labirinto is a sort of technician, and he worked on the bus in some way, of course being close to Domo.
Oh! Good spot. So, Natal Macabro is not one I am the most up-to-date on with all the details, because I only watched it once and it was live.
Yeah,
so stuff like that,
Same.
very, very good. More of that.
I might try to rewatch it at some point.
Yeah, I kind of want to rewatch some that and maybe Quarantena before, depending on how long we think it's going to be for Calamity Part 2. I obviously have the 2 other spin-offs, which I will be doing reacts of on this channel. And I am technically also doing a react to this season, but it's being recorded with Izzy. It's my second time watching it, and then Izzy's first time, and we're recording it and then like editing down a little bit because we yap a lot. But it's also where we go in and explore some of these theories that I then bring to the table here, and that'll be posted as they get edited, and also probably will continue like after the season. So if anybody wants to watch a react to like rewatch some stuff, you can later. But yes, Pedro, go for it. Go on your tangents. Also, if you have any thoughts about Panacea, I would love to hear them too.
Well, I'll give my thoughts on Panacea first. My thoughts on Panacea is basically that they're weird, and it's weird that Silver introduced them. And I know he wanted to do a season with the QSM people, and that he wanted to do a season in the Antarctica with a whole like what's the name of the movie? Not Enigma of Another World. That's the name in Portuguese. The Thing. That he wanted to do the Thing themed season, which is what he did with Quarantena, and he wanted that to happen in San Otolado, but it didn't. So that's why he did Quarantena.
Sarah says,
but it's really weird for me.
I didn't quite understand that part about the sacrificial rituals. Do they have to be in all the rituals, or is only the last one important? I assume you are referring to the thing about Nifty said about how... Was it what Nifty said? Oh, yeah, about Stefano saying that it involves multiple steps and probably a lot of fail-safes. Because I don't know, but I would think that not all the people would have to be involved every step of the way.
What Giovanni says is also really important, because he says, I know what will happen if 2 sacrifices die in a day, or if 0 sacrifices die in a day, but I'm not telling you. So something happens. It doesn't necessarily mean the ritual fails.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Izzy! It's good
Izzy,
you can't stay.
Damn, I can't say my thing anymore.
Izzy,
I was gonna spoil Enigma do Medo.
Yeah, Pedro was about to talk about Enigma do Medo. But Izzy is who I'm watching with the reacts, and you'll see her in some of my theory videos as well. Chiana.
There just needs to be one each day, Aiden. But what if like two teams decide to kill, like what team decides to kill 2 people, or like 2 teams decide ending up each killing one sacrifice, like, you know?
You can turn off the video. But Sarah, if not, if you wanna elaborate on what you were confused about, feel free to. Also, you know, for anybody, feel free to put thoughts in Portuguese. Pedro is Brazilian, so if I don't understand,
I'm a translator.
he can translate. Have to be in the final ritual to have a wish granted. Isn't that how it's going to happen? I really didn't understand. Okay.
Oh, okay. So goodbye, Easy.
Ciao, Easy. Yeah, we stopped right before Giovanni did his whole speech. That was important. So from how we know Hexatombe works is that each day there will be one sacrifice, at least one sacrifice needs to be killed, and there will be
exactly one.
Exactly
for the ritual
one.
to work perfectly.
Will need to be killed. Which means that when we get to the final day, there will be one group with their sacrifice left. And they are the only ones who are allowed to be at that ritual, the Hexatombe ritual. So presumably the others are dead. I don't think there's gonna necessarily be rituals throughout the way. I don't know if sacrificing will be a ritual in itself. But I think the team who will be at the end and will get whatever it is doesn't have to be present every time a sacrifice dies. They just have to be the survivors, the last one standing. That's as far as I've understood it.
Okay, do I go on my Enigma of the Middle rant or no?
6 sacrifices for 6 days. The 7 was because we were talking about a different, a cult that may be part of this. Yes, 6 sacrifices, 6 days. Go Enigma do Medo.
Okay, so Enigma do Medo, we have marks. And marks in Enigma do Medo are Enigma do Medo marks. They have they look like the Enigma of the Enigma of Fear symbol, the fear symbol. Marks hold memories, and I think that's true for all marks. And I think not everyone has a mark, so not everyone has like an entity of the other side holding on to their memories. I think what we're seeing now is these people have gotten marks, but these marks have no memories. They're getting memories. You know how like an agent can come out of the perimeter and come back in, and then they'll have lost all those years they were in the perimeter for that entire time?
Yes.
I think it works like that. And like you said, the masks, they hold like intentions, and then they hold memories in them. Like the masks of the cult of the masks, they hold marks, I think. And so I think these memories they're receiving little by little, I think Selbit lied. I think they didn't receive a memory just because the day ended and the ritual was passing time. I think it's because their necks increased their level of exposure or whatever, the lex, because they fought a creature.
Interesting.
I think Selbit lied.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think they're connecting to the mark on the other side, which has their memories, but they now don't. Agatha found a way to like make them be marked, but the mark holds all the memories and they hold nothing, just like the perimeter. I think this is why this happened to happen after Enigma of Fear 2, because Agatha had to learn about marks from there and learn how to use that. If she retains the memories even, because they might not, it's all very weird. Because Mia might be the only one that holds those memories. In that case, why does this have to happen after Enigma of Fear? It's a very big question for me.
Anomal 2709 or Anomal 2709. Thank you for following. Muito obrigado por seguir. Will there be sacrifice in the other 5 days? Yes, there will. One a day.
Yeah, Beatrice cries from afar. You're so right, Aiden, because Beatrice is the perfect example of like a character that like got a mark because they lost their memories, because their memories got logged onto something else.
Interesting.
Losing your memories can connect you to a mark.
Yeah. See, what I had been thinking which also I was talking about both in the Agatha video, but also a video I'm editing, which will come out tomorrow, about this whole mark entity business, was that it was like their memories were put in the coffins originally, was what I originally thought, because it seemed like the creatures that came out was being formed, not something that was degrading, and that it was linked to them, is in like that's where we put them, and that some of the stuff of the mark was linked to, like you said, with the masks, but I had put it into like an entity or a being, because it spoke about having intentions, and also because unlike the marks we kind of saw in Enigma do Medo, and also the marks that we've seen with the player characters, when Jurel put on the mask, it seemed like it took over his personality, and it changed him quite drastically, which felt more like how Arnaldo changed when he connected and became the wielder of Energia. As in, like,
There's
there
a
was
difference there.
yeah, obviously there is, but the similarities in like there is something else coming through and inhabiting your form and getting form through that in a lesser way than with the relics. So that was
Because
kind of my thought.
Arnaldo lost his mark. Jordel didn't. If Jordel is marked, which we think he is, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the same mechanic. I'm just saying it was like a similar.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of Henri, because Henri kept his mark while being the devil.
Henri got a mark.
To be the devil, or when he became the devil? Because that's a very important distinction.
Yeah, but as far as we know, Henri wasn't marked without the Diabo, and then we saw him with the Diabo and had the mark. So at some point he got it, and at some, so it's a yeah, you're right.
Nifty, I want to answer your comment. Hang on. So
Yes,
Nifty
I was
said,
about to read
Pedro,
that too.
in Enigma of Fear, everything is fear plus the mix mash of elements. But what if the cemetery marks are energy marks? It's all music, sound is energy. We saw energy marks, and now we're seeing blood marks. Maybe it's all mix mashed with knowledge, since fear does that blending. The marks in Enigma do Medo kind of stopped or ended when the music stopped. Do these marks end for some reason, like if the feeling fade with time, like some death thing? So here's the thing. I think we don't fully understand marks, but I don't think marks are related to an element. I think all marks are fear. They're just different flavors of fear, different flavors of mark, because every fear is personal. Fear is personalized in a way. That's like the main mechanic of it, because that's what Jazet says. He says fear is unique to every single one of us. The biggest fear of all is impossible. So Nifty, when you say that like the music ended, that's a really important detail from Enigma of the Minutes that a lot of people will see. That the music is akin to the marks, and the music, the sound of the do 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 do, that little motif is the motif of Jazer. It's the motif of the Unhaunted One. That's the motif of the Mark of Fear. Singing that song is the same thing as playing through the entire of Jazer's backstory to the universe of Ordem. It's the same thing. That song holds all those memories in it, just like the mark. So songs have like meanings to them. So when a character gets a song, they're getting a mark in a way. So that's really interesting. It's really important. Now I'm not sure if I agree with it ending. I think you can rip a connection with a mark and you can add it back. But very good observation with the songs, because the song thing is very important, and we don't fully grasp how yet, I think.
Now you just, because you said like the songs and stuff, and now we have a band involved.
Yeah.
Could they be, and like they said, so far the two songs we've had have kind of fit events that are happening. Could that somehow be a thing that they're going to put into play? Do you think?
Interesting. I'm thinking more of like the OST when it has a motif, like when Joey has a team or when Clarissa has a theme.
Yeah.
They're getting a mark. That song, when you hear that motif, you're remembering that character, so you're remembering their story, you're remembering their mark. It's a good like metaphysical way, like the fourth wall breaking way of like doing that. But I think Psikolera songs are more, they could be connecting to entities but not marks, because they're not motifs. I think a motif is one, a song isn't, in a way.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe. I could be wrong, but that's how I understood it.
Because what you just said could also be like, for example, the song Portal could be like when you hear that, you're gonna remember the moment the portal opened.
Yeah.
So you're remembering the portal.
Remember the moment the portal opens. I don't want to get into other spin-offs, but Tenebris is a big part of this. We don't know how. It all revolves around finding portals to Tenebris somehow.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Yeah, we're not gonna get into that. I was also just scrolling just to see, because I knew that there was a part of the rulebook that had like a section on reality marks, but it was very small, so I don't think that actually helps. Small. Yeah, it just like throughout history there have been those who got involved. Wait, no, that's not what I thought I had read before. Never mind.
Okay, I can't find what I'm trying to find. A very like open-ended way so that no one understands me. But I have a very strong theory that I've formed since Hexatombe like release launched, and it's getting stronger each time, that the number 5 + 1 is really important for the spin-offs and probably Tenebris.
So I was just reading the message from Anomal saying, "Hi, I really enjoyed your content. I'm watching it with subtitles, and I'd like to know who you think died in the last episode." This is why we've got subtitles, so people can watch. Muito obrigada. I'm gonna attempt. We're gonna attempt a Portuguese moment, and then I'll re-say it in English afterwards, so that subtitles can help if I fuck it up. Eu não sei. Okay. Wait, who? Who's who? What's who?
King.
Eu não sei o que quem eu achei morrer, porque nós não temos evidências suficientes para descobrir qual pessoa a criatura foi linked to. Ligado? Ligada a. Meus pensamentos e Labirinto, porque ele abre a caixão ou eu não lembro, porque eu achei jae. So, então, talvez Labirinto, mas eu realmente não sei. Was that understandable, or should I repeat? Did that make sense?
That was understandable. I think that was pretty understandable. That was good.
Fuck, hell,
that was
yes.
Very good. Yeah, anyways, number 5 + 1, really important. Really important. I think we don't understand why, but 5 + 1. And I'll explain it, but with the Hexatombe example, we have 5 players on the table, and then 1, which is Bastea, which is not on the table yet. He might be the sacrifice. We have like the sacrifice, like, which is the 6. We have a whole bunch of groups of 5 people + 1. 5 + 1, that's not exactly part of the team, is really important in these spin-offs, and I think just Tenebris as a whole, thematically.
Interesting. I will be excited to return to this thought once I have finished watching the other 2 spin-offs. Hi, Dad. Thank you. Listen, we all gotta start somewhere. My dad said, I'll read it in Danish and I'll say it in English. Melene taler brasiliansk så langsomt, at selv danskere har tid til at forstå det. Mal speaks Brazilian so slowly that even the Danes have time to understand it. Wait, hello. Listen, I gotta start somewhere with creating sentences. I'm just happy that was a decent not complicated, but like a decent level of thought that was portrayed understandably. I like that. I was happy with that.
Nifty, I don't think it is and isn't that. Here's the thing, if there is a sixth element, I think the deal of the sixth element is that it doesn't exist. I think that's the whole point. If Tenebris represents an element of the paranormal of some kind, I think it would be like, it just doesn't exist. But I'm talking out of my ass. I have no idea.
Since we mentioned elements, do you have any thoughts on the whole each of them being linked to a physical sense stuff?
In what way?
So,
explain what you mean exactly.
Yes. Aiden, if you think a sixth element would destroy you, I have a film that you should never watch. So when they all woke up, I have the tweet somewhere.
Each one of them having one of the senses, right?
Yes, having one of the senses. And that was confirmed by the writers as like a thing.
Yeah, I think it might have just been like a little Easter egg that they wrote down in the beginning of like planning out the season.
Okay.
Because that's what Stefano said felt like to me. But I think that each of them represent, like, having 5 + 1 is really important, and it's on our face this entire time.
Just gonna write that down just so future me doesn't forget it. God, that's very sweet.
It's been in front of our face for a little bit now.
Has it been in front of my face?
No, it's
okay.
Because of the spin-offs.
Okay.
The rituals are also different elements, yeah.
Yes, and again, Labirinto being weird, he's the one who has all of them. And also, I still feel like it's so sus that was the only one who didn't get that you don't remember who you are. You have no memories about who you are, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe it's the best thing that's ever happened to you type thing.
Yeah, the whole labyrinth thing is so weird. Like, if he's the son
I refuse to believe that he's an
Lucina.
Ordem agent.
I like the person that inhabits him, maybe, but like him, like who is he? You know, like Lucina brought this kid up for what reason? Did Lucina know about the Hexatombe? Like, what's Lucina's deal in all this? Lucina was the master; she had her own mask, but. And Lucina had to like have died kind of recently for Kami to show up to form the 5 again, right? If Lucina died and Kami joined recently.
So Lucina died in 2013.
Yeah, and Kami joined. When did Kami join? You know, because it had to be recent, because like this year. So the group was 4 people all that time, and then finally they joined with Kami. You know, like there's a little, the timeline's a little weird.
Oh god, timelines in Ordem, you're so right.
Like they stayed with 4 people for a big time, even though they knew the Hexatombe would come up at some point.
Yeah.
Unless they had an exact date and they didn't care about finding a new member until very recently. And then Kami was the one that found them while trying to hunt Diabo. And then they convinced her to join in some way. Also, I think I was putting ball games happening. Sorry, I can't control my street.
Yeah, because the text to Kami said, you don't want to train anymore before Christmas, which I saw somebody put 2 and 2 together, because I didn't when I first read it, that Natal Macabro was training for the group for this.
Yes. Also, that text was 100% Jae flirting with Kami. 100%.
So it with it saying before Christmas, it could just be like, oh yeah, like that's an arbitrary thing we say this side of the new year type of thing. But it could also be like, we know that after Christmas, it's gonna be the real time. So that's why it's specifically asking, you don't want more training before that, which could fit into what you said about not being in a hurry. Nifty. My only two hypotheses. Senses are the things that link blood and knowledge, and maybe the sixth player will have a sixth sense, therefore being blind or something. And also self-describes a Lucina as trastornado twice, so maybe has a relation with the devil, but I don't know about her.
She had blood on her shirt too in the picture, and she was the owner of the mask that had her grave had the Hexatombe symbol on it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Anybody else in chat have any theories or thoughts they want to bring up? I would love to hear them. And as I said before, you're welcome to write that in Portuguese as well. Você pode escrever em português no chat. Tá tudo bem? No problems. Do you think there's gonna be, because there's been this whole talk about second tables. Do you think there's gonna be a second table?
I hope so, but I don't think so.
Interesting. What would your hopes be for? Or
hopes in the sense of like, who would I really want to be in the table?
Yes.
Or hopes in the sense of like, who do I expect to be in the table?
No, like what would you want from, not like who would be in it, like story-wise, what would you want with a second table?
Oh, great question. Either a Panacea table.
Interesting. Okay.
A Panacea group of killers and it's their own table.
Mm-hmm.
Or, great question. I guess the bird group has been like teased a lot with Gutu putting the owl images, so maybe the owl group would be the second one. But yeah, people try to disagree with me. People don't want a second table. I really want a second table because I want more players. I love the players we have, but I'd love to have even more people. The more people in Ordem that they're there, I think is the better.
Yeah, I already gave my thoughts on this in the beginning. If we get multiple tables, I want it to be a longer season. So I think, knowing what I know about the length of spin-offs, I don't see that being a possibility. Like, they would have to do it a full question. You can ask a non-topic question if you want.
Go for it, Mod Dad.
Sorry?
Actually, Clarissa being marked and being one of the teams.
Being a master DM yourself, is there general Ordem premise or paradigm or mechanical lore device you're really envious of and would wish you had come up with first? For those who don't know, who are new here, we did a campaign here on the channel called Secret in the City. Pedro was the wonderful GM.
Answering your question, I really like the universe of Ordem. I think it's, in general, in its beginning, especially in its birth, it wasn't that creative in the sense of like, it wasn't like that different from other media, but it started out expanding. It started off with the exoterrorist system, and it was just the exoterrorist system. It wasn't anything like different. The story was their own, was of its own, but the universe was the same as exoterrorist. He didn't create it. Ordem only became a system in Desconjuração and Calamity, which are the third and fourth seasons.
That's yeah, and that's when I started streaming from episode 8 or 9 in Desconjuração. So anything you've seen has been from that section.
So from there on, everything that is written from there on, I think is amazing, like world related wise, and I wish there was even more, because I want the world to be even more fleshed out in some areas where I think it's kind of lacking, because we've been waiting for new pieces of media to show up, but it leaves a lot of room for like fan creations and stuff, which is good, but I'm envious of all of it. Everything related to the elements, everything related to the creatures, every single creature in the rulebook is awesome. The system itself could use a little work, like a lot of people know, but it's in general like it's serviceable.
For city related reasons, I now
Yeah.
always think of you as linked to the memory mechanic, the like going back in memory and time events. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of stole that one from Calamity, and then it appeared in Enigma of the Middle again. Who would know?
I know. And because I experienced it in Secret in the City first, I was like, what? Someone went back in time and stole a mechanic from Pedro?
Hey, but mine was interesting because mine was like mixing two like.
No, it was really good.
We're mixing two elements of the paranormal for each flashback. It was one flashback for each mixture of two elements of the paranormal. I don't know if I ever told you that, but that was the whole idea. There's gonna be 12 flashbacks.
Dude.
each one was
good.
mixing two elements of the paranormal in a way.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see you elaborate that in Secret of the City too.
Not happening, guys.
No. This is just my normal reminder to Pedro that I would love to do not necessarily like just any kind of RPG stream with him as GM again in the future, just so he doesn't forget, you know. We close stream when I raid Selbit. When Selbit goes live, I send you over. So we hang out until then. It's a waiting room. So Disco says, sorry if this is dumb, but is it confirmed all the entities interact with one another? Like if there was something connecting blood and knowledge together, or will all of them interact in some way like chaos and blood at some point? Discus, I don't remember how much of Ordem you've seen. I believe you are... Oh, send the link. We can have a look at that.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, like the small clips, because it'll give me a reason to rave about how fucking beautiful this season is. Matt.
It's so crazy. The new tabletop is so awesome.
Let me answer what Disco says first. I don't know with like confirm with interacting with each other, but like we've seen them like in Calamity, we've seen two of them together, like physical representations of each other, and we know that like they do interact. There's like mentions of talking to. Actually, Pedro, you might be better at explaining this than me. Like on the other side, there is definitely an otro lado like mingling. But I tend to personify the elements as their entities more than I know if is a thing.
I can't talk too much about this now because it is a spoiler for you.
Okay, never mind. So what I tend to do...
What I can say is that we know for a fact at this point that this is blood and knowledge being mixed up by the Tenebris belt.
Okay. So
which is something you could have figured out.
Entity-wise, we've seen Blood and Chaos, Anfitrião no Diabo, together in the same room, talking to, also with as Magistrada from Conhecimento. And they made references to O Deus do Medo, Morte, not being easy to contact. So there is some type of like in-between mingling, but whether or not it's as a non-physical whatever thing, or if it's like, oh, you actually have these entities, kind of like what I always imagine as the Ordem Paranormal Mount Olympus of them sitting and having squabbles. I don't know.
I had a theory at one point that the realities of the other side, each element, was a dimension, was a reality that was completely taken over by an element, by like a creature. Like so,
Yeah.
so like our reality could be taken over and become an element of the other side for another reality.
Yeah, we have seen as well like physical glimpse of realities that seemed, or a place at least, that seemed completely like the essence of that element. So I hope that helps. It is, I understand it's confusing. But always, there are no dumb questions. Actually, that's a lie. I can't say that because Diana's in chat. And she will make me regret it. Let me rephrase it as always feel free to ask clarifying questions such as this. About, you know why you, Gianna. You know what you do. Don't even... No. I'm always happy to clarify something that I said, or if something doesn't make sense, or things like that. Yeah, let's have a look at what Matt put. Wait, hold on. I'm on the wrong screen. Hold that over here. And then if we... Hold on. We need to pause the music. Which is Natal Macabro soundtrack, by the way.
Pelo menos não do jeito que você tá pensando.
Wait, hold on. What are you saying?
No último sábado eu fui contratado para gravar uma banda que não existe. Pelo menos não do jeito que você tá pensando. Então dessa vez eu estou aqui para mostrar o meu olhar no show dos Psikolera.
Nesse momento, ao redor inúmeros grupos estão fazendo o seu tributo. Mas nem vai conseguir.
Effects of the voice!
Só aqueles que se provarem mais dignos são aceitos no ritual. Mas vocês não têm que se preocupar. Eu acho que, nesse sentido, o que a gente preparou para hoje vai ser o suficiente.
Ooh! I don't remember if that happened as like in the thing, but like the little effect as if it's actually like a handshot camera from a show. I absolutely love that. Oh my god. I don't think it did. I think that's like post thing. Dude. So many times in this season. So Match, for those who don't know, is the one doing a lot of the... Wait, is Pedro still here? Yes, you are. Yeah. Okay, you just sat in the same position for a long time. So for a second, I was like, did it freeze? Oh my god. Is the one who does the cinematography for the tabletop. So that's why when he's like, this is my view of the show, that's because like this visually is... I'm gonna turn the music back on. I hope they're having a great time outside your house. Is like...
Apparently.
Him going through the tabletop, which is amazing because they basically just made a small video game. Like, it's so beautiful, and I think it really helps with the immersion, especially these like first person views that we sometimes see in the RPG as well, as if we have the eyes of the characters. It blew me away when I saw it in the first episode, and I still, every time I see those little moments, I'm like, yes! This is why I love that it's recorded. Also, it was no secret, I was kind of hoping that they had made an actual physical band and would show up and play a number, but I think the little thing that they did with like a stage animation, and we got to hear part of the song and stuff, was a good middle ground.
Yeah.
I also wanted...
I wanted to read Lucy's comment whenever
yes.
you're ready.
I am ready.
Okay, I sometimes get tired of speaking in theories only logically. Thematically, there are some thoughts forming for me. What is the best thing happening for them right now? I feel that this story is going to be about how they became free the moment they broke their shackles. They became marked, free, they are new people, but everyone is telling them who to be. They can be new people, but their memories imprison them to their past. Every new card of memory has a symbol of fear, even if unintentional. To me, those are sending them chains to beings who shouldn't be chained. Whether Agatha is doing a brainwashing rituals to make them believe they're agents of the Order, or they are actually agents of the Order, or whenever she spoke to them, it was a bad feeling. I think you're 100% right.
I agree. Also, I want to say that, like, I get tired of speaking on theories only logically. A lot of my theories kind of start from that other way around of being like, story-wise, what would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's how with the whole Kian thing, that I kept feeling like oh, logically this is what's being hinted at, but I was like, yeah, but like story-wise, it would be more interesting if this was the twist. And then it turned out that a lot of what I was thinking was correct. Sometimes I go the complete opposite way, but I find it interesting as well because it becomes a little almost like a creative writing exercise, being like, from what has been presented in front of me, what ways can I imagine taking this into that would make an interesting story and a compelling narrative? And then from that, I'm like, okay, now which of these do I actually think there is some evidence for? And some of them might just keep being like, oh, I'll keep an eye out if there becomes evidence to support this. Because I think that's my most interesting way of doing it, which is also why I think like making theories before a season, before anything has been given to us that's kind of shaping a little bit of the direction we're going in, doesn't work as well for me, because I do it more based on like what would be an interesting way to take the story. But if it's like a spin-off, then I'm like, well, you can do anything. Anything could be an interesting story. It doesn't have to connect, so like it's too broad. But then once you get like, okay, this is the setting, that's when I'm like, okay, now I'm starting looking at who are the characters, what are their motivations, how does that fit into the world, and then go about it that way. But also what you said about the chains, a thing I'm speaking about in the video that's coming out tomorrow and spoke about on last stream, is the fact that it seems like there's a lot of Destiny things lining up around them coming from the places they woke up to meeting with the Order and then joining into this, almost as if they are kind of following that change of reality, their destinies, even though we were told that it was broken. And there's something there that doesn't quite mesh, which could be what you're talking about there thematically, being like, technically you've been given freedom, but then still everyone around you is being like, no, you need to fit this role. That is the reason I gave you freedom, which kind of goes against the whole idea of being marked. So I think it's a very good observation.
Nifty, I have only one thing to say to you. You should read Umineku. This whole discussion is just Umineku.
It says I would do more is how I do with Deltarune. It works better than who was on the murder scene and more who's the more interesting murderer. Even if both are valid lines of thinking, that should be done simultaneously. I agree. I would start more with who's the more interesting murderer and then being like, is there evidence that could support this? But yeah,
it's so interesting because I do the exact opposite. I'm the
I
type of
think
person
so.
that goes on the who was on the murder scene, and I do everything, and then I look like after I have the evidence mapped out, I'll be like, okay, from here on, what's the best story I can map out with everything that I've found and gathered.
Which is why I like talking theories with you, but also which is why I sometimes need like I need the time to absorb and think out what do I think is the interesting narrative before being given evidence I might not have seen, because my way works the other way around. But I think it's really I think it's really interesting the way, and it doesn't surprise me that you say you approach it from the other angle. You know, it's all about how we think, and as long as Nifty said, both things are there, like I quite enjoy having lots of different paths open as well, of thinking like, this is something I can see happening in this and this. And then as the story goes along, they kind of start ruling out or taking, I think I said like pebbles from one path and then making another one and stuff. Because I think the act of coming up with potential narratives that could be interesting based on what we've seen so far is just as interesting as getting it right. Yeah, it's just as fulfilling.
I also want to say that like it's really interesting thinking about like a narrative arc like that for like a season when we're talking about a tabletop RPG where the master and the GM and the writers only can write what they want to happen, but they don't control the story. So I genuinely think you're right, Nifty, that they want the moral of this story to be of make your own choices and then don't let other people tell you what to do, but they don't control the story. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's so cool about tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, But it's also why, going back to the beginning of people talking about like railroading, that you do need to have a little bit of it, because as a piece of entertainment, and even though it is of course collaborative storytelling, and players do need to have freedom to shape events and shape their characters, it still needs to have a whole sense of wholeness. Otherwise, you're gonna have all the audience being like, what the fuck? Especially in a thing like Ordem, where we've kind of been brought up to theorize alongside and to investigate alongside and look into everything. Because like a thing that happened often when I first started playing Dungeons and Dragons is that people will decide to be like, oh, yeah, there's a tavern over there, but you also briefly mentioned a forest. Why don't we go there instead? And then the GM has to spend time being like, all right, okay, I'm exploring all this, blah, 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 blah. And you can't derail like a quest in the same way in a streamed RPG that you can at home. So, yeah. Do we know why these people were chosen, or is it random so far? Do you mean...
I have something to say about that.
Yes.
Because if we're asking, like, if we're saying the groups in general, they specifically say that they're chosen, right? Like they do a sacrifice, they do a penance. I don't know what the word in English would be.
Tribute.
They do a tribute. They do a tribute, and they get chosen. My mind goes back to Calamity, because Kian and Conjuração, because Kian says to the other side, the only thing that matters is the name, and our killers gain marks. They're not the same people, regardless if they're Ordem agents or not, but they still have the same name. So everything they've done this far still makes them eligible, not just what they did at the Monica Club, but the name they have is what makes them eligible to still be able to go.
Which once again makes Labirinto a very interesting outlier, because that character doesn't have a name. Even from a production point of view, the script team never gave the character a name.
Yep.
I forgot about that detail. That was a really interesting one. It's like it's all get filed under the same name in the other side filing system.
And Verissimo and Calamity coming up and saying like, names don't matter, Kian. That's why I've been in mine, and that's why I don't care about yours. He says that. Yeah.
Well, it's two different ways of thinking. Reminds me of something. Labirinto is no one. He is empty, an empty shape. Better not. I did see.
Labirinto having the labyrinth on him is so weird. That has to have some explanation. Like, what's the deal? You know, what's the deal with the labyrinth?
Yeah, I was really intrigued by him finding the memory that Selbit gave Calligrapho by being in a labyrinth, kinda.
Yeah. Are we on board with Labirinto of Fear? 100%.
Yes.
I was thinking about, do you think there's a chance, in Calamity we have the Minotaur Labyrinth. Do you think there's a chance there's something to do with that? Because we have like a blood character which is related to a labyrinth?
And also, if you saw what I just zoomed in on? A Minotaur?
Yeah, true. a bowl of some kind, yeah.
Yeah. Very well could be. I did see, and again, Enigma of Fear spoilers, that somebody was saying that they think that the agents who have been body swapped into them, which I'm still not 100% on board with, but we'll go with it, was the agents who were with Leticia, and it would make sense if Fernanda was Labirinto, because she canonically disappeared or got lost inside the graveyard labyrinth, which I thought was interesting. Not sure I can fit the other characters to them, but I guess Labirinto is oddly enough the one we kind of have the most to go off, whilst also being the one that we know nothing about, which is reminiscent of how he was introduced. He was the one where it wasn't emphasized that he didn't know anything. It just seemed like it was normal for him not to really know who he was. Hold on, let me catch up with Nifty. I don't think they'll be proper agents by the end of this. It's really hard to pull off. They either succumb to the assassin or they become new people. So the twist of Agatha of being a liar is more interesting. Yes. Also, either way, like if they ever are forced to put on those masks, like I don't know if you can recover from that.
I think it'll be a corruption system. I think they'll get like 3 tries or something. They'll like roll dice and then get more corrupted. I don't think it's going to be a one-time thing.
If they do become corrupted, I hope they get to continue playing, kind of like with Jorel.
Jorel.
Oh my god, I've been using the wrong name the entire fucking time. Jorel. Listen, I am very good with some details and very bad with others. It's a bit of a toss-up each time.
I'm bad with names, and that's so fair.
Bad names and numbers, no. I do think there was a crystal blade and a cathedral and coffins of blood. So maybe it's the sort of environmental foreshadowing that happened in Ordem Calamitas for the spin-off? Wait, where did you get the crystal blade?
I don't know where the crystal blade was either. I'm thinking, do you think we're gonna get like a flashback related to each of the groups?
Oi, Avi! I'm giggling at the translation for Jorel being different every time in your subtitles. Yeah. Also, I've just found out that I've been saying the name wrong. So, you know, saying the wrong name. I hope you have just arrived because we have been speaking pretty candidly about several things you are not caught up on. Okay, good.
What did I just ask you? I don't remember.
I was asking about the crystal blade, and then we were talking about like who was inside.
I asked you if you think we're gonna have like a flashback to each of the teams, because I think that could be interesting to see their story.
Again, if we get like if it's different players, I really just would.
Same players. We just get a flashback somehow to each team, to like giving them a context and like going to their story briefly, like a 15-minute thing.
I would like that, yes, because it fleshes out the world, and anything that like fleshes out the world, I'm here for. Which is also why I love that it is talking like probably going to be speaking more about religion. I'm going to dismiss the ads for now because I think we're ending soon-ish. Should be able to push them so there's no ads the last stuff. What was I thinking? Yeah, like there's going to be dealing with like the whole issue of religion, and also potentially the question of like what like a soul, what makes you in Ordem, because like every time they've done stuff with body swapping, there is the question of like, well, who are you? Especially if there's bleed over between memories and intentions. Like, are you meshed together to a new person? Is it two separate people? Does one win? Like, and if so, why? And I think going deeper into that is interesting. It also seems like we're going to be doing with much more gray morality around the paranormal and also the order in general, which I'm so here for. So all of this, that's kind of like the philosophical side of the world, I love getting explored. So I would love hearing more about the different groups.
Now, can you remove my camera for 1 second? I want to show you something and ask you if Abby has seen this, so as I can talk about it.
Yes, I can. I just need to figure out. Hold on, this one, and then I need to pull up. Yes, go for it.
Okay, can I show you?
Yeah.
Okay, can I talk about this?
No.
Has Abby seen this?
No.
Abby has not seen this? Okay.
No. Abby, just checking. You've seen up until where the break happened in Disconcerts out, right? I'm gonna put you back on. Oh.
There
we go.
I've never seen this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So no, you haven't.
So no. Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. It was only gonna be a small thing.
Yeah. Can we get hand symbols as replacement for the eloquent sigils in this episode? That would be cool. I'm not sure I know what eloquent symbols are, but I do want hand symbols for every.
It's something from the rule book. It's the things that like compose a symbol. So like the triangle shape or like the circle. Those are the eloquent sigils.
Yes, that would be so cool. I want one for each of the elements. There were 3 items in the maze: a novello, a red cloak, and a crystal knife, I believe. Oh, in the labyrinth from the Okay, I understand now. I understand.
Now, can you do the hand sign?
I think so. I'm just like, wait, I can't see. Like this? This is it. This is the rest of the stream. Thank you.
Diabo nosso que tá no inferno.
That was awesome. Now I have a thumbnail.
Like,
I was
the devil that is in the hell.
The devil that is in the hell.
My prayer. I started my prayer. Devil that is in the hell.
Oh god.
Oh, they went live now.
Okay. Let me just once more. You know, if you're new here, if you wanna hang out more, you can find me in these places. And also, I was talking about that Agatha thing, the theory. You can find that here, a theory video. And I will be doing another theory video very soon. I'm gonna start the raid over to Selvit. Thank you so much, Pedro, for hanging out. Thank you so much, chat, for being here and for talking. I'm so excited. Can somebody do ! Discord? We're gonna be in the Discord watching it. If you want to join and you want to chat with us as we go, and that's also where we talk about.
Faster than you, Jonah. Faster than you.
We talk about theories and things we find in between, throughout the week. But yeah, this was awesome. I hope to have more people on, people again from the Discord. If you would want to join this like Pedro did, I would love to. But obviously, no one's like, that was just like a random call up, not a force anything. But yeah, I'll be back. I think next week it's gonna be maybe Friday instead of Saturday. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I'll see you when I see you, and send the raid over, and let's enjoy Hexatombe. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, chat. Bye.